Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the G.I. Joe Classified Series Crystal Ball. I believe this one in the US was a Walmart exclusive. I got mine from overseas, but let me close the door because it's very loud outside. But yeah, let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. I actually really like this redesign. It's modernizing him to be like a really scary illusionist. I'm gonna go with the likes of like Mysterio and things like that. The jacket is a really cool design. I don't know how I feel about it with it off. I'm gonna try that in a little bit. But yeah, let's talk about it. The jacket is pretty nice. I do wish soft goods were a thing, but I know what it's like for a supposedly children's line, but adult collectors collect it like myself. We still have the issue of this neck joint is actually a little bit better, but I'm actually still gonna Dremel it out, and I'm actually gonna dribble under as well too to add some extra neck articulation because it does hinder the character a little bit. I got a little bit of paint chip under there. And besides that, articulation, ooh, is that gummy? Yeah, it's all gummy. So it's crazy because like this is gummy and the shoulder pads are like in the way. So I'm actually gonna test that when we take it off. But we do have a double joint. We have a bicep swivel. We do have an ab crunch as well as a lower torso ab crunch here, which that's about as far as you get with our legs being here. Then we do have drop down and we can rotate those legs actually a little higher than 90 degrees. We have a thigh swivel. Notice that this is all pinless. If you didn't notice now. Then we have a boot swivel and we still have our generous ankle pivot. So posing this guy technically shouldn't be an issue, but the jacket is going to be a hindrance. So real quick, I'm going to take the jacket off. Let's get to it. So now that the jacket is off, let us talk about this arm articulation because I was having issues beforehand. So let's see if this comes up. So no. So that's going to be an issue going forward because we can't lift the arms up without having to cut a little bit into that. As you can see here, that's about as far as you'll lift it up because of that. So that's a little bit of a disappointment on my end. It's going to take some modding, or I could just kind of toss it all in. As you can see, I made the mistake. Let me actually fix my mouth because it rotates into the bicep cuff and it does not hinder anything. So what you do is you push in, press under. There you are, getting perfectly good articulation. Let's do the same on the other side. Yep, it's totally fine. It doesn't hinder the butterfly joint as well either. It's going to be a little gummy, but no big deal. So I've made sure of it to check that out, and yeah, no issue. Oh, I'm wrapping down that bandolier. Now I'm going to keep them like this because we're going to go over our accessories. So let's do that. One of those accessories is going to be Crystal Ball's hypnotism shield. So what's really cool is it actually moves when you rotate it in the light using that old classic gimmick. This is actually pretty cool. I do like that this was included. Here's the shield portion of it to be held on either the left or the right hand side. Is ambidextrous holding. Next up, you will have as your illusionist or energy shield. Under light, this actually has a nice see-through for the green, which is really nice. Next up, we will get the crystal ball. This is actually important to the name. Here we are with the crystal ball. It has no technical holding until you use it in this one extra hand that they give you. And I do like this asymmetrical design, kind of like Raptor. It has that little nice glove. This could be held in there. Oop. Let me see if I can. So, ooh, no. Oh, yeah, no. It could technically be held, but you'd have to push the hands out and rotate it down. Me personally, I think the crystal ball should just be used floating, but there's no place to pop it on the stand. So I think that's the only downside on that. Next up, and this is probably my favorite two things, we get like a green flamed sword, which is really cool. And we get an alternative head that adds to the illusionist look, Cthulhu-like sculpt. This is actually really cool. I like this a lot. This is why I wanted to mod the neck too, because it sits up high in there. With some extra little bit of articulation, we can move it around a little bit better, giving it that extra oomph. This is really cool. I think this is gonna do a lot of fun for people. They're gonna want to army build crystal ball, or at least buy this part. So now, let us jump into the size comparisons. Let's get to it. Before I talk about size comparisons, let me remember that I actually forgot that he does carry a revolver. I actually left it in there by accident, and I'm having trouble getting it out. So yeah, he actually has a revolver. with, I think that's some sort of snake or coil wrapped around it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, revolver included. So let's get into that size comparison. Okay, now let's sit here and talk about our size comparisons. I have a few things that we can compare to. First, let's start with Blowtorch and Frag Viper, who came out around the same time, as in technically around the same time for me. So here we are with Blowtorch. Then here we are with Frag Viper as we compare to some of the more recent stuff. And again, I am an advocate of figures being different sizes. So depending on whatever continuity you want to use or a official stat sheet, all of that stuff is great, but I like to mix and match them. I love this. So here they are. Let's take these guys away. Here we are with Rock and Roll and Darklon. Check out that Darklon video. Shameless plug, shameless plug, shameless plug. Why we stop? Here we go. Looking really good. Next up, we have Valaverse Sidewinder as well as a Marvel Legends scroll. I have been like messing around with my scrolls a lot lately. So here we are with a Marvel Legends scroll. All right. Next up, we have Mafex Daredevil, which I finally found after doing my Kingpin video. So here we are with my Mafex Daredevil. And then we have a Storm Collectibles Ken. Next up, because this one is important. Not that important, but I feel like this is important for this guy. Here we are with a Mythic Legions, because if you want to be like an illusionist and make people see stuff, here's a Mythic Legion. Here is SHF Kamen Rider Geats Boost Mach 3, which I've done a ton of photos, but I haven't done a video for, so I'll probably just post some. And as you know, SHF, all of the Reiwa era stuff is upscaled, so yeah. Last but not least, my main man, 150 million, and I'm still gonna say the word grand, even though it doesn't make any sense, my main man, Ichigo, representing the Mezco, and that uses the Samurai Wolverine body, mostly because I don't have any other Mezco out. So yeah, he uses the Mezco Wolverine body, which is a slightly smaller buck. So yeah, overall, very happy with Crystal Ball. I'm actually gonna mod that neck out so it has a little bit of extra articulation. But also, I'm a big fan of the Hama G.I. Joe stuff, and even bigger fan right now of the Energon Universe stuff. Cannot wait to see what continues to happen in all of those books. Also, shout out to Hama and Paul Pelletier, because as of me recording this, in the most recent issue, Dr. Mindbender has gotten upgraded. So if you aren't reading the comics, I totally advise that you do. I think you'll like a bunch of stuff that's happening in it. If not, maybe you're just a little too old school, and that's okay. That's for you. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for enjoying. And as always, I appreciate you guys. So please, be good, do good. Drink your water, guys. Later.